Governor Greg Abbott announcing a $50 million grant program today to pay for schools to have bullet-resistant shields. Our Grace White explains how this program will work. Grace?
School districts have to apply for these funds. This money was set aside by state lawmakers in June after Uvalde, and the amount of money going to shields makes up almost half.
The ballistic shield guards you from incoming fire.
You can see them in the video from Uvalde. Ballistic shields in the hands of officers positioned in the hallway. While effective, Tony Leal, a retired chief of the Texas Rangers, says it doesn't fix the problem.
The shield doesn't do anything to mitigate why we have active shooters. It doesn't stop the person with a gun from going in and shooting. It allows and helps officers to respond to that shooting after it happened.
And it's the response state lawmakers are funding with $105.5 million. From that money, the governor announced a $50 million grant program to fund ballistic shields and a $3 million grant for advanced law enforcement rapid response training. In an interview before the school year began, HISD's police chief, Pedro Lopez Jr., echoed the need for more funding.
The most challenging thing is trying to overcome the lack of resources. When I say lack of resources, it's in equipment and in training.
And in an August board meeting, HISD passed a $2.3 million package to pay for ballistic shields, rifles, and two-way radios. With today's announcement, the district says it will now consider this grant as an additional funding option. But remember, Leal points out, the officers in Uvalde had shields. He says equipment alone won't prevent a shooting.
We're treating an active shooter as something that's inevitable, like a hurricane. It would be like, hey, we're going to issue plywood to every citizen in Houston because sooner or later there's going to be a hurricane.
School districts don't have long to apply. The deadline just 1 month away. The other requirement, every officer who gets a shield also has to complete active shooter training. Lynn and Mia,